In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to improve your SEO rankings for your YouTube videos. You've done everything that the experts say. You've put in the keywords that they've suggested. You've optimized your title and your description. Maybe you even have a high score from a popular SEO tool, but your videos still aren't ranking. Why is that? Most advice out there misses the mark. In this episode, we'll uncover what really gets results, how to tell if your SEO is actually working, and what to focus on if you want your videos to rise in search and reach the right audience. Let's dive right in. Let's look at two different myths about keywords and about SEO. Myth number one, ranking is just about using the right keywords. Well, if that actually worked, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You would put keywords on your video and it would rank at the top. Most of the people that are teaching this, keywords don't matter for their strategy. They're focusing on creating entertaining content. They want suggested traffic so they can get as many views as possible and generate ad revenue. So why they're talking about keywords, I don't know. Keywords don't matter for that strategy. I produce over 60 different YouTube channels where keywords are very, very key to our strategy. Even brand new channels, when we use the approach that I'm going to teach you, we're already getting traction on YouTube and we can see the progress. We can check to see which videos are ranking at the top of search, which ones are further down, and which ones haven't shown up yet. Myth number two, YouTube SEO is separate from content strategy. That's the only time when it was true. You could have a video on one topic, but put in keywords about another, and you could rank for that second topic. Or another way that you could look at it, and we'll talk about it in terms of website SEO, you could create a website and then do SEO to it. You could have a link come to it, and an article that linked to it, and blog comments and link wheels that all sent authority to that website. Well, a lot of people teach that that's how you do SEO on YouTube, that you take a generic video or just a broad topic video and you can somehow SEO this video. You can optimize it somehow by putting in the right keywords or doing something to the description or having the right file name. Or there are plenty of spam services out there that will get you likes, they'll get you clicks, they'll get your number of views up or your number of subscribers up, but these are all fake people, and somehow that's gonna SEO and optimize your video so that it will show up in search. The reality is not one of those videos ever shows up in search. So if you ever get marketed to and see services that offer that type of a tactic, just know that it's gonna be a waste of money, but even worse, it'll actually backfire. It'll hurt your channel because YouTube can spot that in an instant. So SEO is actually perfectly aligned with content strategy. And here's how that works. You do SEO before you film, before you even map out your content outline or do any scripting. So SEO looks like this. You do keyword research to go really, really specific, and you want to find the questions that your target audience is asking. Really specific questions. Okay, so if you dig, today it's really easy to find really specific questions that have 8 words or 10 words, and to find a lot of questions like that that have consistent search volume. So even in your narrow niche, you'll be able to find hundreds of questions that your target audience is asking. That is the most important part of SEO, because then you take one of those questions, that becomes the title of your video, and now you create a video around that question, and you map out your entire content strategy around all these different questions that you found that you know are your target audience, so that your content strategy is built from the SEO work that you do, this keyword research. I've used the right keywords. Why am I still not ranking? Well, now you can probably tell you haven't used the right keywords, right? Because you probably filmed a video. Let's say you made an amazing video about increasing productivity, and then you put productivity all around it. That's not going to work. What if you did keyword research and you found the title, How to Improve Productivity in a Dental Office, right? That's so specific. You can't do SEO to your video to make it rank for that. You'd have to film a whole new video talking to the dental team, but that video is going to be way more valuable for that audience. So again, it's not about taking your video and using the right keywords to optimize it, but it's finding the right keywords to begin with, the really specific ones, and then structuring your content to answer that question. How can I tell if my SEO is actually working? This is the fun part that I love to show. Let me introduce you to Dan Good. He is a ghostwriter. This is his YouTube channel. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes to the spreadsheet that Dan and I use where we organize all of our keyword research. Now, we found these 5 questions here under Hire Ghostwriter, meaning that all of these questions have those 2 words in it. And when we looked last August, we don't see any yeses. We see 3 startings and 2 nos. Well, what does that mean? A yes means when we do a search for one of these questions, we find down ranking at the top. That means the top 3. If we have to scroll down, but we find Dan in the top 20, that's what I mean by starting. And if we put a no, that means we didn't find Dan at all. And I give a yes a score of 1, and I give a starting a score of 0.25. So on August 7th, he had 3 startings, so that added up to a score of 0.75. And you can see the dates when we filmed these, the dates when we've launched them, and you can see progressively over time. This is a small branch, it's only 5 questions, but we went up to a 1.5, a 1.75, a 2.5, went back down to a 1.75, then back up to a 2.75, a 4.25, a perfect score, and settled in at 4.25. Now that you understand my scoring system a little bit, we can look at the next branch. Just the word ghostwriter, so these ones don't have the word higher in them. We started with a score of 5 out of 10, and progressively we worked our way up to a 9.25 out of 10. And just for comparison, become ghostwriter, that's not really a topic that he wants to teach. He wants people that are looking for ghostwriting help to find him and hire him, not other writers that want to become ghostwriters. So we looked up this branch, but we marked it as gray because it's not important for him to dominate that one. And you can see the ranking was at 0.25, and it did increase up to 1, and that's out of 10. And it looks like he did film 1 here. It's like, I'll answer that question, but I'm not going to put a lot of energy on this branch. So that's one way you can really tell if your SEO is working. I'm going to show you another way using YouTube Analytics. All right, this is the channel for Jason Schroeder. He's a consultant to construction professionals. And if you come to Analytics and then click on Advanced Mode, I'm going to show you my favorite report. Traffic Source. You see all the different sources of traffic. I'm going to click on YouTube Search. So in the last 28 days, we've had 35,000 views just from search. So how do we know if we're getting more? Okay, I'm going to show you a really cool comparison. I can go to 90 days, and then I'm going to click on compare to period over period. So the blue, the left side, is how many views he's had from search in the last 90 days. The purple, the right side, is the 90 days prior to that. So he had 107,000 views from search in the previous quarter, and in the most recent quarter, 122,000 views. So that's pretty cool. That's a good way of knowing if your SEO efforts are working. How long does it take for a video to rank? It happens pretty quickly. Okay, even on a brand new channel, if you do keyword research right, if you find a deep branch, a branch that's got a lot of different leaf titles on it, I use a tree analogy, okay? So if you find a branch like that or a category that's got a lot of different questions on it and they're really specific, it's very common for a video with that title to rank the very same day that you post it. Now, if the search volume on that video is just 10 searches per month, we're not expecting a huge flood of traffic from search yet. What we're hoping for is actually 10 views from search that month. The next month will be another 10. And the third month it typically increases because the algorithm knows who your audience is for this video, so it'll bring in related searches and send them to this video. But I love the visual, so I'm going to show you something and you can kind of see the timeline of how this ranking happens. So here's a spreadsheet that I did for my client Noelle Randall. She teaches real estate investing. You can see on February 10th, she only had 2 yeses. But then on February 19th, she filmed 5 videos, a few more in March, a few more in April. And you can see by April, now we had 8 yeses. By May, even more. By July, even more, like totally dominating this whole branch. So when you post these videos, you'll start to see these incremental changes and these no's turning to yeses. Give it a few months and you can dominate the entire branch. Does improving my old videos help them rank better? This is a tough one because many people that I talk to have a lot of amazing, extremely valuable content that they filmed in the past. Maybe they've got a whole treasure trove of content on YouTube and it just hasn't been getting a lot of views. And they're hoping that there's some magic remedy where you can SEO the video, kind of optimize it with keywords so that it will work better, it will perform better. So there are things that you can try, but it doesn't really relate to search. YouTube knows what your video is about, and if you haven't been getting search traffic, then you're probably not going to get search traffic on that video. But there are other types of traffic that you might get. You might get suggested or browse traffic. The 2 areas you want to look at are the title and the thumbnail. Don't worry about the keywords. You want to focus on the title and thumbnail being really captivating. You do want to create clickbait. You just don't want bait and switch. Clickbait is meaning you're putting bait out there hoping you get some clicks, and that's actually a good thing. Bait and switch means you're putting that bait out there, but as soon as you got them, you're then going to switch and talk about something else. Or you're just misleading. The thumbnail or the title, they're expecting one thing, but you don't deliver that thing. That's bait and switch, and that'll hurt your relationship with these viewers. But think of the title and the thumbnail as the advertisement for your video. The better you can advertise your video, the more views you'll get. So you can try that on your old videos. If you want to rank higher in the YouTube search engine and in the Google search engine, then you've got to go back to the drawing board. You've got to start with better keyword research and then recreate content that better matches that strategy. Now that you've been introduced to this better approach to keyword research, I want to teach you the strategy so that you can implement it. I've created another video I'll link to right there. It's called the YouTube SEO Secret Strategy. You've got to go watch that episode now, because if you watch that episode, you'll know the steps to take to get your videos ranking at the top of YouTube. I'll see you there.